Yo guys, what's up? My name is Jaji Prime, the ITK. Happy New Year. This technically would be my first video of the year if you're not counting my New Year's resolution video. But I saw this happen, I think it was a week or two ago. I know it might not be as relevant as when it first came out, but I wanted to address some things that were said by a really popular Nigerian artist by the name of Yemi Alade, and some of the backlash which she received, and just my take on what she said and the whole topic of lyrics as an indie reviewer. Now, in case you haven't seen or haven't heard what she said, here's a clip of what she said. I believe she made these comments on Snapchat, then I'll come back to talk about it.
I don't tire for all these self-acclaimed critics in this Nigeria. They don't do any form of research. They don't listen to the artist's songs. Then they just say shit. Sorry for some people that call themselves critics, so I'm smiling to the bank, you're not. Be there, questioning my lyrics. But you will not question the lyrics of the boy. Upset about this kind of thing. I just really think that people don't know when they're actually biased gender-wise. They don't know when they try to pick on females. Enough is enough. Y'all just shut up. You're going to really be checking people's lyrics out and you're going to be a so-called critic like yourself. Then please make sure you check the guy's lyrics too. Don't be on no female's case. Who are you? All the biggest pop songs that are like American or British, they are very simple lyrics, very basic, so that dumb people like you can know. So I beg you, indie critics, just do your work well. Do your work well, that's all I'm saying. Do some research. Well, I wish you the best.
Now, this does pertain to me as I am an independent critic. But I don't necessarily think it's an indictment of me personally, because if you watch the video, she specifically or laid emphasis more on people who don't do their research and listen to the music really. Now, in terms of doing research with all sense of humility, I like to believe that I do my due diligence before I come out and make a review. I listen to the album thoroughly, check out the lyrics, listen to the lyrics, write a few down, check out the producers, read as much and listen to as many interviews as I can before I can come out and talk about them. So that you can have a different perspective on the music, so that you can, learn maybe a few things and know a few of these names and have an appreciation for the process that goes into making music. Now, specifically on Yemi Alade, this is not like a video for me to go out and say, yeah, Yemi Alade is wrong and I'm here to bash her. I do agree with some of what she said. And if you watched my predictions for the Headies, I felt like she was most deserving for MVP of the year in terms of the Headies Awards, because she had a decent album, people liked it. She's been moving around quite a bit and been involved in so many great projects around the continent. Like I said, she's been, kind of a force for unity. So I do really admire her work ethic. Now, first, the thing I didn't like was that she was kind of specific on indie critics. As an indie critic, I take what I do very seriously. So I spend a lot of time on what I do. So I take this seriously. In terms of her laying emphasis on indie critics, I felt like there was a bit of shade, because why not just say critics in general? Perhaps, with indie critics, we do have a lot more freedom. We can come here and say what we want. In terms of a critic under, an umbrella company, they are a bit more limited, because you have to think about the business that goes into it. You have to think about the politics. So perhaps that's why she laid emphasis on indie critics, because we are more raw. In terms of doing your research and listening to the music, I 100% agree with her. It takes a lot for you to come out and give an opinion on music without listening to the music. It defeats the whole purpose of reviewing, to be honest. It's assumed that for you to be able to review a piece of art or whatever, you have spent a sufficient amount of time. Now, this time is complex. You've seen a number of artists say you listen to an album once and you get an opinion. It's difficult. For me, what I would be comfortable with is maybe 5 listens of an album and then, listening to the songs individually and then taking notes on specific songs. But that's just what I feel comfortable with, because by then the I can tell you how the album flows, I can tell you what the theme of the album is, but it varies from person to person. Maybe a few people can listen to an album twice and get the whole gist of the album. Maybe a few people need 10 listens to get the full gist, even though you can't really get the full gist of an album, but that's a different case. So yes, you should do your research and listen to the album. But there's another thing about time. Like I said at the very beginning, this video might not have any relevance because social media has already moved far beyond, Yemi Alade and this whole talk of critics. On YouTube, on social media, we have to keep up with the hype, which is why a lot of reviewers try to release their reviews as close to the initial release of an album or a project, just so that they can, be relevant, so that people can, still be interested. If you're releasing reviews 2 weeks to a month after an album is released, you're not likely to get, many people watching your videos. Except if you are a very well established reviewer, such as someone like Anthony Fantano. He can afford to wait a month to do a review because he has an established base. She went on to talk about, agenda bias. If you are talking about her not having lyrics, you need to check, male artists who don't have lyrics. This wasn't a very wise statement, because you're kind of saying, yeah, I don't really put much emphasis into my lyrics, which is not 100% true. I do think that Yemi Alade has songs that she is a bit more, reflective on. But even going as far as saying, you have a gender bias in terms of your reviews, I can only speak for me personally. Me personally, and I'm sure people who are subscribed with me can tell you, I am most harsh, in fact, on male artists than I am on female artists. It's not particularly a gender bias, it's just how things are. Maybe because the artist is just trash. To me, if you're trash, I'll tell you you're trash. Like, Ice Prince calls himself a rapper, and I said his album had very lackluster lyrics. Eva released a rap album, and I enjoyed that thoroughly, and I talk about it extensively. Someone like Lindsay Abude, again, who is probably my favorite artist of the moment. She's a lady, and I talk about her and give her praise extensively. Individually, personally, I don't give two fucks what your gender is. I don't give two fucks who you are. Whether you're an upcoming artist or a big artist, all I know is what I feel about the music, and I'll come here and be as honest as possible about the music. So in terms of a gender bias, it seems like she was really trying to find a way to, deflect from the real issue, which is your lyrics aren't as deep and meaningful. And this video wouldn't even be necessary if Yemi Alade had just come out and said, yeah, I don't want to make a deeply thought-provoking song, I just want you to have a good time. Nobody would even be that pissed off. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. I can enjoy that, and as well as I can enjoy, a very thought-provoking, socially conscious album. It doesn't really matter. It just as long as you know what you're doing and it's not overly ridiculous to the level of an Ice JJ Fish who doesn't even make coherent sentences. So if as an artist you're making deeply conscious music, that's fine. If you're making music for people to have a good time, that's fine as well. If someone cares about lyrics like I do, well, personally, I know what context to apply lyrics to. For example, I'm a huge Weeknd fan. I'm not going to sit here and analyze the Weeknd's lyrics because they're very basic. And for his genre or style of music, it's more about the atmosphere and, the mood you're in rather than the lyrics. For someone like in the genre of rap or hip hop, then I would lay heavy emphasis on the lyrics, like I did with Ice Prince, because that's a genre that traditionally lays huge emphasis on lyrics, whereas pop or R&B lay more emphasis on emotion and a vibe. So if you are a reviewer, I think it's important to lay, to have a certain context in where you apply lyrics to. I'm not saying lyrics are not relevant. They are. You do need to be sending some kind of message. And even in an album, your album needs to have some kind of message. But it doesn't mean that every single artist needs to write a thought-provoking and, socially conscious song. Sometimes write a song that just is about having a good time, and I don't mind that. And then Yemi Alade, of course, went on to talk about, people in the UK and America having simple lyrics. I don't think that was necessary. It just felt like you're just trying to compare. Just say, I make music for you to have a good time. I don't really want to talk about, deeply conscious things. There are other artists that can do that. Simple, that's your lane. And I'm happy with you occupying your lane. And her final thoughts were, do your work well and do your research, and she wishes us all the best. I wish her all the best. Personally, as an admirer of hers, I would like to know more about her. Now, if she wants to do that in her music, she's fine to do that. She's welcome to do that. If she wants to do that in an interview, like, I don't mind sitting down and having an interview with her. Now, I don't know what possibilities lie within that, but I don't mind sitting down, having an interview, having a discussion, and let us know who Yemi Alade really is. Or if you don't want to do that and you want to keep that private, that's also fine. But personally, I think the video, it seemed like she was a bit hurt by it. And I don't know why people get hurt by reviews. It's just merely a person's perspective on a piece of music. I don't sit here every day, recording, wasting my time saying I want to bash an artist or I want to, praise an artist. I just got tired of listening to music and thinking, about the quality of music and just talking to myself. I said, why not, talk to other people and see what they thought about the music. Personally, I don't think too highly of myself. I don't think my review is going to affect your money. Who am I? Like, it's just me expressing my opinions about your art. And for you to put your art into the public, you have to know that people are going to talk about it. They're going to say good things. They're going to say bad things. If you are comfortable with it, that's fine. If you have fans that are comfortable with it, that's also fine. You don't need to please everyone, or everybody doesn't need to say your music is good. Some people will say it's good. Some people will say it's trash. And that is just life. I never like people who say, if you like this kind of music, your taste is trash, because it just shows you're very naive and childish. But like Yemi Alade wishes us all the best, I wish her all the best. I love to see artists and people grow and progress in life, and I really admire what she does. And in terms of her music is enjoyable. Obviously, I will be reviewing her next album or her next project. So maybe then, you can really get the full gist of what I think of her body of work. Like I said, again, the door is always open for an interview if she's willing to do that. But that's really all I have to say about, indie critics and doing your due diligence. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.